welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. Today I'm gonna be doing an unboxing. I just got an Ulta package, so I thought I would show you guys what I got, and then I'm gonna be filming my base routine. So I'm gonna be going over like powder, color correcting, foundation, concealer, all that stuff. So okay, so the first thing, actually, what's the first thing I want to show? Okay, the first thing I got was the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I have literally, no joke, been looking for this concealer for years. Not because it's hard to find. This shit's just low-key expensive. It's like $34. However, I went to Sephora last year, like in the beginning of the year, and I got a sample of, I literally still have it. I got a sample of the foundation, and I loved it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get the concealer because the formulas are pretty similar. Also, Jackie Aina has literally been recommending it for years, and I feel like she's never steered anyone wrong. I got it. So I got the shade Toffee. The shade that I got in the foundation was Chai, but Chai was like slightly too light. So I got Toffee instead because Chai has gold undertones, and this was like the next darkest shade that had gold undertones. So I'll really quickly swatch it for you guys. This is what it looks like right there. So very excited. Gonna be using this for the base routine today. I'm so happy that I finally got it, because like literally I was seeing people's reviews on like TikTok and stuff, and I was jealous, and I was like, well, why are you jealous? You could literally go and get the foundation. So I did. Second thing is I got a sunscreen. I have a sunscreen, but I am just so bad at wearing it. And then I didn't know this, but you're supposed to like reapply foundation every couple of hours, and I was like, okay, well that's hard if I'm like wearing a full face of makeup. I can't just like slather all over my face like I did before leaving the house. So Black Girl sunscreen has a spray version, so that's what I got. It's SPF 30. I saw some people saying that it kind of makes them look greasy, but I have dry skin, so I'm not really worried about looking greasy. Maybe in the summer, but that is a summer problem. And Poreless powder. I love this powder. I just gave the one that I had to my mom, so I didn't have one, so I just repurchased it. This is what the powder looks like, and then it has a mirror on the bottom, and it has the little puff. So that's the other thing that I got. I also got a red color corrector. So yeah, the second thing that I got, or like this is the fourth thing, is a red color corrector. I have like the orangish one. However, that one's like not like red enough to conceal all of like the hyperpigmentation on my face, and so sometimes I can see it like peeking through. This is, I'm trying to look for the red or the orange one. This is the orange one, and then this is the red one. So same idea, but this one's just a little bit darker. So yeah, I got a new color corrector. I also got nail glue because I don't have any, so got nail glue. And then I finally got eye primer. This is the first time that I've actually had like a good, genuine like eye primer. The closest I've ever gotten was e.l.f.'s primer, and it's not a bad primer, but I just think there are better options if you... Why did I just squeeze it and all this water came... Are y'all seeing that? Okay. Didn't expect that to happen. That's nasty.
Child. Anyway, so
this is what the primer looks like. It's just like a white base, or not. It's not pure white, but it's close enough. I was gonna get the P. Louise one because they have like a pure white base, but I really don't need a pure white base. I just need something like bright enough, so that does it. And then I got the Juvia's Place, the coffee shop eyeshadow palette. One thing about me is that if I don't need to buy a new product and I can just use one that I already have in a different way, I'm gonna do that. So I say that because I have not had an actual contour product the entire time I have been doing makeup. I've used my eyeshadow palette and I've used like a dark brown or the closest brown to black, and I've used that to contour. And so the last one that I had, I was using the James Charles palette, but I had to get rid of that for, I feel like, obvious reasons. So I got this one because I needed like a good neutrals palette. Unfortunately, I've noticed that this cracked on the way here, I guess. That's okay, as long as I don't like tip it over too much. But this is what it looks like, just a beautiful neutral like brown chocolate palette. So I'm probably gonna end up using, I think I'm gonna use this shade to contour. I'll show you guys all how that goes. But yeah, oh my god. Oh, a lot came out. A lot of the, can I show you guys? Literally right here, that I did not notice that the eyeshadow came out there. Okay, well, I will clean that up and then we will get started with the base, whatever. Now we can get started with the actual base routine. So the first thing that I do is I take this e.l.f. what was it called? Power Grip Primer. And I'm gonna use a brush because my hands have glitter from the eyeshadow all over them. And I take about 2 pumps. Actually, maybe even 1. That was a pretty big pump. And then I just put it like all over my face. Yeah, that is the first step to your base. So priming is the first step because similar to what I was talking about in the last video with like an eyeshadow primer, your face primer acts as a barrier between your skin and the makeup products that you're gonna put on. So it like also helps in terms of like acne. It's not gonna absorb as much into your skin. And also depending on like your skin type, what you want the finish of your makeup to look like, a primer will do that for you as well. So if you want like a mattifying primer that's gonna keep your makeup looking matte, you can use a mattifying primer. If you want something that's really gonna keep the makeup on your face, you can use a gripping primer. There's also primers that have like skincare benefits. I know e.l.f. just came out with one that has niacinamide, so that's really the use of primer. If you don't put on primer, your makeup is not going to stay on as long, and it's also going to settle more into like your pores, fine lines, and it's just not going to look as refined. So the next step after that, I like to take a powder. So I'm going to take my Makeup Revolution, you can see this, my Makeup Revolution banana powder, and I just take the same brush and I'm gonna put this all over my face. And the reason why I do this is to make sure that the makeup lasts longer. It's just a trick that I learned from Jackie, and I can't tell you like the science behind it, but I know that it works. So I'm putting it mostly in like my T-zone because we're gonna color correct next. So I'm not putting it like too close to my mouth, but I'm putting it basically everywhere else. So chin, forehead, cheeks, yeah, those are the main places. So the next thing we're gonna do is find the color corrector. So this is what a color corrector looks like when you first open it. It has basically the same applicator as just the LA Girl concealers. So this is what the applicator looks like, and then when you squeeze it, that's where the color comes out, and then you can apply it to your face however you want. So the main places on my face that I color correct are around my mouth, because my face is like 5 different shades of brown, and some of that is just like naturally how my face is built. The rest is because I like to pick at my face and I have like acne scars and stuff. That's mostly what you see around like my cheeks, and a little bit on my forehead. But where I place the color corrector is around my mouth. I do a little bit of spot correcting under my eyes, and then I don't really do much for my forehead because the foundation usually just like balances that out. So I take the color corrector and I basically most discolor. Well, okay, let me do it from like color correcting in general. So color correcting is basically just the color wheel and color theory. I think the best example of that is when you have green color correctors to use for something red that's on your face. So if you have like pale skin and you're having like acne breakouts, if you have redness, you put the green on because red and green cancel out. And so once you blend out the green color corrector, your face is like all one color and you cancel out any of the underlying redness. But most of the time, like discoloration, and if you are someone who grows like facial hair and you shave, you would use an orange or red color corrector because those tend to have bluish undertones and red will cancel out the blue. And so that's why you would use the color corrector, because it kind of neutralizes that out, and then when you put on foundation, your face is all one shade. Compared to if you didn't, you would see like the area around your mouth is darker, your eyes are kind of gray, there's like a grayish undertone. So you do this so that everything looks flawless, seamless, etc, etc. I'm just gonna take the same brush that I used for my brows that I did, and I'm going to start to blend that out. Okay, so when you look something like this, and everything is all blended out, what I do next is I take the same brush and I set it with powder so that it's locked in place and it has less of a chance of like bleeding through my foundation. So this is the part where I go kind of heavy with the powder, because I have had it bleed through foundations before, and while it's like not the end of the world, it's annoying. So yeah, you just take powder, stamp it in there, and really just make sure that you have like everywhere covered. With this part, I'm like not too concerned about blending the powder out because I know that I'm just gonna go in with like foundation, so I don't really have a need to blend the powder out. So I'm just like stamping. Stamping is more of my goal here. I'm gonna grab a blending brush from e.l.f. and use that for my under eyes. And I've really been trying to incorporate my setting spray more, because you're supposed to use setting spray like throughout your makeup routine. It's not just supposed to be at the last step. So I take my Ben Nye Final Seal makeup spray. This is supposed to be like really heavy duty stuff. I haven't like really put it to the test to see how well it keeps my makeup in place, but I will tell you, this is minty. Like, it makes your eyes, it doesn't burn, but like, I feel like I'm washing my eyes like with peppermint. So beware that it feels like that. But I just, this far from my face, and just spray it. Like, it has such a strong mint vibe. Like, it's kind of crazy. After that, I go in with kind of the final powder vibe. So the foundation that I use is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation, and I am in the shade Chad 120. Finding foundations is so hard, because I got into makeup like during the pandemic, and so I had to buy all of it online, and like none of it was my shade, and it was so bad. It was so bad because it would like match my face, but it wouldn't match my neck. And so it would be a crazy color difference between what my face looks like and what my neck looked like. But finally, I got the foundation that matches my neck. So what I do is I put some on the back of my hand, and then I take this is a foundation brush, I think. Yeah, I take this foundation brush and I just like apply it on my skin to the places where I really want it concentrated. And I find that this really helps me like blend out the product. And then I think I'm gonna go in with the same brush. I love this brush. This brush is so amazing. It's from e.l.f. I don't know what it's called because the handle fell off. But it's an amazing, amazing brush. So I'm gonna like try to clean some of it off. So yeah, just go back into applying. And I'm gonna do a little trick. I've never tried this before, so we'll see how it goes. But I have smile lines, and my makeup always settles into said smile lines. And so I saw this trick on TikTok that was like, set your smile lines with like eyeshadow primer, and that will like make sure that your makeup doesn't settle into your smile lines. So I'm gonna try that, and I guess we'll see at the end of the day if it works. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the primer, and I assume they meant a primer that's like translucent. I don't have that clearly, so this is what it's looking like. This is all I can do. So I'm just like setting it in there, and then take a pressed powder. So I'm gonna take the one that I just got, the Maybelline one, and set it with that. So setting it. And then the final part of the trick was when you're applying your foundation, don't apply it like directly on this area. Just like kind of sweep it and take the product there. Don't put the product on it. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then finally, I just take the brush and put it in the foundation to like get the rest of the product. And then I just start blending. So when it comes to blending for me, I don't know if I would say I have a technique. I just really just blend in circles. And it always looks a little bit rough in the beginning because this is a matte foundation, and most of the time I'm talking or I'm watching something, and so it starts to like set and it's not budging. So what I do, even though this is a matte setting spray, is I spray it and then I move the foundation while it's wet. So I do that and then immediately start buffing out the foundation. I need it a little bit more. And I really don't put any of the foundation like underneath my eye because I'm gonna go in with concealer next anyway. So I don't really like see the point in doing that. So that's why you didn't really see me blending it over there. And then for like smaller areas that I don't really go over with the foundation brush, like right above my eyebrow for example, I'll just take this and kind of just like sweep it over and do that kind of vibe. And yeah, we're back to blending. So once I've blended out my foundation, this is a personal preference, but I hate the way foundation on the lips look. And like I hate watching tutorials where people just like leave the foundation on the lips. So I have to like line or do something to my lips before I can move on. You don't have to do this. It's just me and I just don't like the way that shit looks.
So I just really quickly go over my lips. Yeah.
So that I get some of the foundation off of my lip. So at this point, I'll just go in with like any final touches. So I next have the concealer, I mean. Oh, Did y'all see me trying to gank this shit off? I forgot that it's a thing that you unscrew. Okay, so I put some on the back of my hand, and then I go in with another brush. I'm in the process of getting better brushes, but this is still indeed a brush from Shein. And then I apply this on the parts of my face that I generally like to highlight. So usually when you're highlighting your face, you highlight the parts, in my mind, you're highlighting the parts that people look at first. So under your eyes, your chin, basically the center of your face is what you highlight. So it's like your forehead, under the eyes, around the nose, the chin, and then above your lip, because that's like the center of your face, right? And then when you contour, those are like the shadowy parts of your face, so that everything is like you're bringing attention to, and also bring attention to other things, if that makes sense. Kind of like a light and dark kind of balance is what you're going for when you're highlighting and contouring. So what am I gonna blend this with? I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. I'm just taking this in places that I normally highlight, bringing that up to my eyes. Okay, so once I have placed all the products where I want it to go, usually I would take a beauty blender. And I have this one from e.l.f., which is really good. This is the Total Face Sponge. It's really good, but I don't know if I'm in the mood to use a beauty blender. So we'll see how where the brush takes us. And then if I don't like it, I guess we'll go with the beauty blender. But I'm just blending it out so that it's like a seamless kind of blend. So you see how it went from concentrated to kind of all over my chin, and it just looks like my face, like my chin is being highlighted. That's how you want to blend out your face. So you want to blend out the product until there are like no harsh lines, it's evenly dispersed, and it doesn't look like you just placed a dot somewhere on your face and people can see the dot. And then for the little bit that I put on my nose, I'm just gonna blend that out with my finger because I don't feel like getting another brush. So yeah, this is what it should look like once it's fully blended out. If you need more coverage for your eyes, you can go ahead and like add kind of a second layer of concealer, or if you're going for something a little bit more dramatic, you can do that. Since I'm not going for anything too dramatic, I'm not like going anywhere special today, I'm not gonna add a second layer, but if I did, then I would be adding that second layer. Thought I was feeling you.
You thought I was feeling you? That nigga lunch. Nigga, either he ate it for lunch. Bitch, I'm a baddie, I get what I want.
So once it's blended out, the area around my eyes is looking like very yellow, and part of that is the camera changes the color. Literally, I didn't believe that. I was like, okay, YouTubers are just lying and like their makeup just looks bad. No, it genuinely like changes the color slightly. So I'm just gonna set everything, and this is like a slightly cooler powder. So I'm gonna do that just to balance out the yellow a little bit, or not the yellow, but like the really warm undertones that you have going on. Makeup is such an art form. Like I have kind of been saying that into the research that I was talking about in the last video. Kind of looking at how like black women and black trans women and black femme people like use makeup as an act of resistance, because this is art. I firmly believe that makeup is an art form, because not everybody can get up and do this. Truth be told, not everyone can do this. So I like to see makeup as an art form. So now that I am done with my under eye and concealing, the next step is to go into contouring. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna be using the Juvia's Place palette to contour. I'm gonna start off, I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm just gonna use the same brush that I just used to do the concealer. I'm gonna load my brush up with that color. And then I don't do like the whole, mostly because I like haven't figured out how to do it, but I don't do like the 3. So I kind of follow like the pattern where you take it from the tip of your ear to like the corner of your mouth, and I try to follow that pattern, or I just go along like, this is my cheekbone, this like line that I have here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it. So I kind of do that, and I don't take it like all the way to my mouth, obviously, but I just kind of like follow that curvature. Follow that curve on my cheek. And then I brush off the excess, and then I blend it out. Always remember, for your contour, blend up, not down, because you're like kind of sculpting your face, and so if you blend your contour down, it's going to like make your face look droopier. So I'm taking this shade now, and I'm gonna see what that does to the contour. Yeah, okay. Same vibe. And then I'm actually gonna take this brush now, and really get in there and make sure to blend upwards, because this brush is like bigger, and so it's gonna help like avoid that harsh line of like contour. Like you can clearly tell where my contour is. I'm trying to avoid that. And then to help sharpen it up, I take my banana powder again, and there's like a name for this technique. I can't remember what it's called, but I take this powder right under where I just contoured and kind of let it sit there for a second. Again, I'm gonna just take this brush and blend it upwards. And that's what it looks like. So we're almost done with the base. The next thing is blush. And so for blush, I am aware that for my eyeshadow, my like eyeshadow tutorial that I did, I said that I was going to do a NYX unboxing. My camera died as soon as I brought it out to record. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just like show some of the stuff that I got in the next video. So 2 of the products that came in that shipment were liquid blushes. They're called cheek tints on the packaging. But this is the first one that I got, and it's called Already Famous, and it's like a bright orangey color. I'll show you guys a little swatch. That's what it looks like. And then the next color I got was Bombshell, and it's like this more rosy nude kind of color. And that is what Bombshell looks like. So for this look, I'm gonna use Bombshell. Yeah, I'm gonna use Bombshell. And I'm going to place the color along my cheekbones like that. So for this, I'm gonna take my Real Techniques foundation brush, but I like the way that it blends out the blush as well. And I'm just dabbing it. Do you see how pretty that is? It's such a pretty color. And I was like really worried when I first got it that it wasn't gonna show up on my skin, but it does, and it looks so good. Like especially on like a no makeup day, just some blush, some mascara, and gloss. It eats. The blush gloss combo eats every single time. I go in with highlighter. I'll go with the Juvia's Place Masquerade palette, and I'll go for the color Calabar, this one right here, and I'll use this brush to load it up, and I place it like right here. Then for the other side, like right there, and then I take this brush, and then that is how I blend it. And then I'm gonna take the same brush because it still has the color on it, and I'm gonna put that up my nose for some nose highlight. I'm gonna put a little bit on the tip of my nose as well, and then I'll put it in my inner corner as well so that we have like a cohesive highlight moment. Okay, so that is what all of that is looking like. I'm actually gonna go in with a little bit more blush because I've really been enjoying the intense like blush look. So we're almost done with this tutorial. The last thing for the base that I like to do is, again, take the setting spray and just make sure that everything is in place. Should be making me want to sneeze. Like, it's an intense vibe. It's this shade Lava Cake. I love a chocolate like lip. Whatever I'm wearing, it's usually gonna be a chocolate lip. So I'm just going in, like, look at how good that looks. Love a chocolate lip. This Maybelline gloss that is literally on its last leg. Like, this gloss is about to go. Yeah, I should probably throw it away today. Also the fact that I've had this gloss for like more than a year, it's definitely expired. But anyways, this is the Maybelline lifter gloss. It's really good. It's in the shade Stone, and so it's like a pinky color. I'm just gonna put that in the middle. To maybe give some dimension, some depth, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so that is the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was quite a long video, so if you made it to the end, I appreciate you. But please let me know what future videos you want to see. I am still planning on doing the eye series. I just haven't figured out what graphic liner look I want to do yet, but that will be coming very, very soon. And let me know whatever videos you would like me to make as well. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.